I considered you just the typical California kid, you know?
Yeah.
What motivated you guys to move to the Carolinas?
California was a struggle, right? I mean, just paying taxes was a struggle. Trying to raise kids there was a struggle. Politics were a struggle. My kids were having to defend their faith in high school to high school teachers that were annoying. We just had to get out of there. And Danielle had wanted to leave much earlier, but I was so close to our grandparents that I wanted my kids to have that same thing.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to leave.
You waited
them, you know, but I got to the point. My dad grew up in North Carolina and we used to come out here when I was a kid. I knew there was a lot of lakes and I loved boating. So I knew I would love that part of it living out here. I was a little bit afraid of how winter would be because I knew it was cold in the winter. We had visited Danielle's family in Michigan and talked about moving out there, but it was gonna be cold. And I just I can't do my outdoor job in 18 degree or minus 18 degree weather. But then I was like, what about North Carolina? She was willing to do that. So I got a transfer. I got one to Texas, one to North Carolina. And we ended up choosing North Carolina because my dad's best friend growing up allowed me to live with him for a few weeks while I found us a house. And so I actually bought that house without Danielle even seeing it. And she's the one that actually told our real estate lady about it. Cheyenne and I went and saw it, and we are the ones that bought the house before Danielle got out here.
What was that adjustment like not being in California anymore? And I would say, what was the hardest part for you guys?
Yeah, I think for me personally, the hardest part was leaving my mom's house. We left from my mom's house, and that was sad. And leaving Danielle and the other two kids in California because we didn't get to all go at the same time.
Right.
But once we were out of California, really once we crossed that state line into Arizona, it was awesome. It was adventure. I loved it. My work was much harder to be in North Carolina. The streets were different. The maps were different. So for my job, it was hard. Yeah. But once I got into the swing of things there, I loved the people that I worked with. We started going to a church right away. We made friends with our neighbors. Our next door neighbors had a daughter the same age as Cheyenne and a son a little bit older than Gracie. And so our kids immediately became friends. And I really felt like God brought us to that exact house because it was perfect for my family.
Did you ever think you'd leave California?
No, I never thought I'd leave. Even when I was 18 and I came out here to North Carolina, I loved it. I loved the lakes. I loved water skiing so much. And the lakes in California, Arizona were hard to get to, hard to water ski on because they're only good certain times of the day for that sport. I really loved that out here. You could go all day long and you didn't have to drive. You only had to drive 10 minutes to get to the lake.
Yeah. You used to surf. That was something you did all the time. I imagine that was pretty hard, being someone that loved the beach, knowing you're moving somewhere where there's not a beach in sight.
Yeah.
Was that tough?
It was hard to leave the beach, but I knew in my mind, I loved the lake enough that would replace
it would be
that.
A substitute.
The one interesting thing was I always thought my surfing days were just done. I mean, I gave away my surfboards. I didn't take any wetsuits with me. And then come to find out, we started going to the beach here and we found this one beach in North Carolina that has really good waves. And so it's very much of a surf community around Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wow. Goats are interrupting.
Yeah, they're scratching. The town is called Curry Beach. It's gorgeous there, and we vacation there every year. First place I go, I ride my bike to the rental shop, grab a board, and have it for the whole week because I know I'm going to get at least 1 or 2 days of, California 1 to 2.
Yeah,
Out here, they're like, oh, it's 2 to 3. No, maybe not.